I know. I think it was the backers. I break out on the mountains. Good to see.
See, I had a buddy that did this.
Yeah.
And he quit 2 years ago.
Okay.
He did well, but he really had, he got to live right next to him in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And they got that.
No. No.
Like I said, built up on farm, wholesale. You can open it and put on half field red. Right. Well, less than half field red. Right.
Okay. That's what I want to see. We're all standing there.
So welcome, everyone. We're going to open our meeting up here at 7:33 with the pledge and a short devotion. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bow your head. The Lord, we thank you so much for the beautiful day you provided. We thank you for watching over our emergency services personnel and our road crew as we've went through a few storms lately. And we thank you that you've brought our township to the best part that we could be. Give us wise decision-making tonight. Amen. Sorry, you ran out for a second. So while he's getting ready to go for there, I would ask if you have any changes to that agenda.
I just got some under new business.
Trustees, I gave you an updated agenda, you see on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I did post it on there, I'll pull it up on the screen here, but I've put some updates on there.
I have no additions.
Okay. Have you had a chance to review the minutes from the March 27th meeting?
Trustee Piro moves to accept them as presented.
Trustee Barry in second.
All in favor?
Aye.
While we're signing that, have you had a chance to review the treasurer's report?
Trustee Barry moves to receive the treasure report as accepted.
Trustee Piro seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are you related to the Neff on Hill Church or Fair Hill? Fair Hill?
No, I'm originally from north central Pennsylvania.
Okay.
There we are.
So we're moving to public speaks, and the first one on the list is Ron Neff from Tree Works, and then David, is it Bevington?
Dan Bevington, yeah.
Okay, Dan Bevington, both from Tree Works.
Yeah.
Sir?
Thank you.
Trustees, I might add that road superintendent and myself have met with Dan.
Okay.
This all happened, 5-6 weeks ago? And we met with him due to the fact that the cemetery, like helping with trees and stuff, not knowing what Tyler was doing. And it kind of rode into, these guys specialize in roadways.
Okay.
So it just so happened that they wanted to come and look at our roadways, and you know what all happened these last 2 weekends with storms and all. And it was kind of, by luck, I guess you want to say, we were pretty busy around here getting things. Let me get my sheet up here.
So tell me, where are you guys located?
So the main office is out of Darlington, PA, and we also have a satellite office in East Palestine. So,
About a mile and a
Where's
half.
that
Is that safe?
Yeah, mile and a half away from.
Is that
Oh, either way, it's a mile
Yeah, either way, it's not in the blast zone as we used to. So, Brian's throwing up the PowerPoint here. It's the same thing you guys have in front of you.
Okay.
I'll kind of go through it. My name is Ron Neff. I'm the sales manager / director of sales for TreeWorks. I help Dan out with these types of events, etc. Know Dan a long time. Dan Bevington is the owner, the crew leader, etc. of all the guys. So the more technical questions on specific cuts, etc. That's your guy right here. He did get the ride with Stu today, so hopefully he showed some confidence there. So first thing, introduction that we pride ourselves on at TreeWorks is the family atmosphere. All of the guys that work with Dan is basically family. Dan's cousins, etc., all work for him. They have over 80 years combined experience in this industry as well. So they've all worked for previous tree companies before Dan started this in 2009. We have, 2006, I'm sorry. A lot of repeat customers, etc., just for the fact that, our work speaks volumes. And that's, if it isn't right, something that doesn't, make the customer happy, we're back there. So a little backstory too, we started partnering with townships as we've seen a need for, township work to outsource for the tree service industry, etc. Here's some of the reasons why. Number one, the insurance, no workman's comp claims. There's a ton of workman's comp claims with faulty equipment, getting up in trees, etc., just because they're not trained in that avenue. Logistics. So this one I always like to say is, you guys can patch holes around us, no problem. You guys are, 3 times faster than us at that job. This is where our expertise is. So we get more done in the same allotted time. So it allows you guys to stay what you guys do best. So basically putting the right team members where you're at. Our equipment, we know if we're out on your roads representing your township, all our equipment is within, 5 years of age or newer. So we don't want breakdowns. We want to show that we're a reputable company with Osnaburg as well. Return on investment cost. So like I said, we get more done in the time frame than your crews can on tree work. Like I said, you guys would get way more done repairing roads. That's just not what we do. Also, one of the additional things is when you start clearing trees to daylight, you use less material for snow melt because it works better when the sun hits it in the winter, etc. Also, with spraying, less mowing. So, you don't have a guy dedicated out mowing, specific areas where if we're getting on, the sides of the roadways, that person, maybe you can use him somewhere else that day. We have spray rigs that can, how many gallons?
500.
Yeah, 500 gallons every time, and we can go days in a row. So a lot of the Middleton Township, etc. With Liverpool, we put together a 5-year plan for them with the road supervisors, etc. on what's the most, the needs right now, and let you guys kind of mold it to what your township needs. A lot of what they like about that is, they kind of have the last say on what we do. So obviously, with 5 years, you don't really have to worry about it, and we can tree map and everything going back through. So like I said, let us make this, our educated guess on what Osnaburg needs, but like I said, we're out with Stu riding around, getting exactly what your township needs, so you're not, wasting money on stuff that you don't. Obviously, cost is a deciding factor in these times for sure. So Butch Johnson, Middleton Township, were the first ones that we reached out to. Just threw a little quote up there. He said, "You're more than welcome." His phone number's online. If you guys have any questions about us, give him a call. We've worked with Butch a very long time. Know him, for a very long time as well. So here's a little quote he wanted us to throw on there. But yeah, he said more welcome to reach out to Butch.
We were just in Hanover Township too last week. We're going to right down the road.
So like we said, here's some of the equipment we have in the last 2 years. I'm not going to go through each one, but you know, we pride ourselves in having equipment that's not gonna break down and showing up and just looking unprofessional. You know, other equipment we have on the side here, or ability to get is, you know, a little older, but they're more of a specialized thing that probably, you know, wouldn't need on a, you know, daily basis. So here are the current partners we actually do business with right now, on the townships. Middleton, Liverpool, East Palestine School District, they have us doing all their schools. Big Beaver Borough in Pennsylvania, Hanover Township, and Hanoverton Village. So those are kind of, most of them are here, and they're starting to spread just for the fact that there's a reason that it's spreading. You know, cost with, you know, the work we do, they're starting, the value, they're able to get grants from the state, et cetera, to pay for this stuff. And allow us to, you know, to keep the roadways nice. Notable partners, so we don't just do townships, we do, we are contracted with the, you know, the 800-pound gorilla on the sheets, Columbia Gas. So we do a lot for them. First Energy, we are First Energy certified with them. Pharrell Innovations, Ryan Homes, Dennison Landscaping, those are, you know, our 5, you know, top partners that we do deal with. So services, and I'll kind of go through these. If you have any questions on, like I said, Dan's more of the technical, you know, person on this, but obviously tree removal, pruning, 24-hour storm assistance. That's a big one. A lot of the townships, you know, really like that. Something happens and a tree goes down in the middle of the night and it's something they can't handle, give us a call. That's what we're here for. That's why we work with you guys. Stump grinding, danger tree assessments, so we can go out and say, you know, we might see something that, you know, the guy, the untrained eye doesn't know. You know, hey, maybe this is starting to split or something, and we can kind of see that and not cause the power lines to go down and have your residents out of power.
Something you could utilize in a cemetery or something, so you're not replacing headstones.
Yeah, that's a good example too. Tree plotting, not a lot of places do this, but we can do what's called tree plotting, which is basically go through, plot specific trees and allow you to see that in your 5-year plan on, hey, when's this tree getting done, et cetera.
We could do that by road too, if you'd like.
Forestry mulching, so this is one of the bigger things we do too, which you can all terrain mowing, forestry mulching, basically we feed cotton heads in the front of skid steers, et cetera, and anything under, what, 8 inches?
Yeah.
8 inches, it just mows it down. So you're not sitting there pruning and taking time. So it allows us to get a lot more done. Herbicide spraying, you know, we, like I said, Liverpool uses us exclusively for their herbicide spraying, just for the fact that, you know, they're tired of mowing certain spots, and it allowed us to give them a solution that, you know, same time and money. We are certified and line clearance certified, so we are allowed to work near power lines, et cetera. Temporary traffic control, we are certified in that too, so you don't have to send out a road crew with stop and go signs. We can handle that. We are herbicide applicator licensed. We're allowed, you know, buying and distributing out the, you know, the chemicals we use. We are OQ certified for gas line. That's more of a gas line requirement. And we do follow, so here's one of the big things we pride ourselves on too. ISA requirements for cutting and pruning trees. So ISA is like the National Arborist Association. So we make cuts that won't kill the tree. So you'll see a lot of these places going through and using just giraffes, they call them, just mowing the sides off of trees, et cetera. And then 2 years later, they die and fall on the road anyway. So it's, you know, yes, it's fast, but you're just kind of putting a Band-Aid on the problem. So yeah, we follow all the cutting and pruning trees. There's specific times that you can prune, you know, specific trees, et cetera. So we do follow on that. So obviously, with us growing and starting to kind of put together different townships, it allows us, if we get, the more townships we get in a defined area, it allows us to actually lower costs because we have the equipment, we have everything out here. So that's our main goal, is to start partnering with, you know, the key locations around us and just growing out, of allowing us to, you know, save you guys money and you know, get your roadways where they should. And allowing them, you know, the road crew to do what they do best. So, any questions at all on any of that?
So Stu, what'd you guys find out while you were out riding around?
Oh, we got a lot of areas that need cut
Yeah.
really bad.
It'd be good to get on a plan. There's a lot of, everything's overcrowned in the middle of the road where it's never gonna get any sunlight. A lot of dead trees, but it's nothing we haven't seen before, so.
So what would be your plan, just in general?
The plan would be Stu would pick out the roads that need hit first. The worst ones, we go and hit that, that's year one. Year two, just keep knocking them off. So the cost is spread over 5 years instead of one whole year.
Okay.
Are you guys on contract? You per tree? How's it work?
Hourly. We like doing
Hourly?
hourly. I think that's the most fair. for
How is
everyone.
that set up? What's your cost?
$195 an hour. That gets you 2 guys, forestry bucket, chipper, 18-inch chipper comes out with it.
Okay.
All the manpower and everything.
And so when you do a quote, you go out and say, I think this amount of trees is going to take us 8 hours. And we quote that way?
No, it would just be like, here, how much money you guys want to spend per year?
What's your budget
Okay.
on,
Yeah, what's the
on your
budget?
roads?
Okay.
So, yeah, and it also, because there's certain trees that require more than 2 people in a bucket truck. you know,
Right,
So
sure.
you might need 4 with that, you need to shut down this road, et cetera.
Yeah, the roads that are super crowned over, it'd be best to just shut the bad spots down and then just go through and blow them out.
Right. On other townships, are you added on as a rider on their insurance, like Otarma? Like how's that typically work on other townships?
We have our own insurance and we're
So
own.
it's completely separate?
Yeah, that's once they all kind of, you realize that was the main driving factor for
Sure.
Middleton, actually. And that's kind of what started this ball rolling. And we're like, well, if we're helping them, then why don't we help them? And then and it's like, we didn't want to go out and say, blast everyone and then not show up. So we're strategically trying to, we stopped here, and what was the other one we stopped at?
Paris.
Paris. So we're trying to, get that everyone kind of together. We don't want to, hey, Dan, can you come out? We have a tree. No, we're busy right now. That's not what we want to do. So we added, more people on to allow us to do this.
That was going to be one of my next questions. In the world of an emergency tree down, being that you guys are a little further away, tree goes down and Stu's called and Amy's called because Amy's the fire chief and Stu's the road guy, and they're out there in minutes. You guys are driving from Liverpool, there may be something we look at for some tree maintenance, but we're going to be able to jump out there 3 times with our chainsaw before you're going to make it.
Yeah, for one tree, or if it's hung up somehow,
Right.
you call us
Right.
out.
And my
But-
follow-up question to that would be, when you guys are on emergency calls, are you bringing the fire department out to contain the road, or how are you handling a tree down over a thoroughfare?
We'll cone the road off, signs, cones, both sides, and
Okay.
then we just,
Cool.
we do what we need to do then.
Cool.
Yeah,
So you
if
actually manage the road. You manage the roadway as well.
Road.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
Now, if it's, like Middleton, even though we're close to them, if a small tree goes down and it's something that is easily handled,
Sure.
they handle it. If it's something
It's a big boy.
major and it
That's
fell on
the
a
problem.
building,
Yeah, no, I get
The
it.
last
that's where
windstorm,
they usually call us in, the last windstorm.
the
We've
last,
been very lucky we haven't had some of the trees you saw.
And
If
okay,
they ever came down, we
let's
can't
say-
handle that.
let's say a tree falls and it's as tall as me to the waist. Is
Yeah.
it still 195 an hour?
oh yeah, 195 an hour, that's it. One
No,
tree
you might
comes
have
up.
8 hours getting that tree out of there.
Yeah,
but-
that's fine, yeah.
Okay. All right.
But if we have to bring more equipment means more money then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, our Middleton Township with 4 men, which, what is it, you have the bucket truck.
Bucket, chip truck, 18-inch chipper, mini skid to feed the chipper, pretty much whatever we need.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
395 with them. So, and that's only if that, occurrence happens.
Yeah.
You're on a 5-year plan with this Middleton.
We've been doing work for them for like 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah. so-
How many hours a year do you spend there on maintenance?
Roughly, roughly 20,000 they spend a year with us there,
Dollar
roughly.
amount.
Yeah.
20,000. Yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool is what, 15?
Yeah,
Liverpool's right around 15,000.
somewhere around there.
Hanoverton's,
They're 10.
then Hanover.
So it's
Oh, yeah,
it's $20,000 at 195 is 100 hours, 105 hours.
yeah, be 2.5 weeks.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you chip, you take that with you?
We can take it, we can chip it into the woods, whatever you want.
Do
We
you,
usually find a farmer that likes to take chips, so.
Yeah. Right.
okay.
We
You
can
work
check
with
into
the
that
property
too, and
owner
see if
too
there's
then?
somebody would
What's
like to take.
You work with the
picture.
property owner?
Yeah,
If they want the wood, they can keep it?
Yep. yeah, actually, if we're just doing roadway trimming, we'll stack it to the side of the road because technically that is the homeowner's wood then. At least that's what we've run into.
Yeah.
And then if they want it removed, then we can talk about removing it then, but I'm sure the township guys could go out and move it then. At least that's what we've always run into.
Well, most of them want it, that's why I was wondering what you do with it.
Yeah,
And I usually ask too, you know,
Yeah.
when we have down trees on somebody's property, they'll either want to take it or they don't, and then we just go ahead and remove it and get it out.
Or you got a guy that pulls up, hey, what are you doing with that? That's usually what happens.
Yeah,
Well, we
Come
get
on, that
too.
wood. I brought it.
You come back at 3
What do you-
o'clock, we'll load you up.
What do you guys typically do on your billing cycle? Are you billing weekly, monthly? How are you billing?
Middleton's a little different. I'll bill them whenever the job's done, like the project's over with. We could do the same here if you guys like.
Okay.
Like that, or we can do weekly, whatever's easy.
Whatever's
for you guys.
easiest.
So there's flexibility there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If we would, the trustees would approve a budget of amount, and based on what you saw, like roadways and stuff that Stu took you around,
Yeah.
would the, let's say, for example, on the hourly rates, would you stop and check with Stu then if you come up to the point where, hey, we're gonna go over budget? How do you guys work those kind of
100%,
deals?
yeah.
So Hanoverton was a good example. They started small. Hey, let's kind of test these guys out. We'll approve you a budget, what was it, $5?
Yeah.
$5
It was
grand.
2 days worth of work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, hey, we're done. Come check it out, rode with them, everything. Hey, this looks great. And then it just kept going from there.
Okay.
If you guys want to do something like that, we're open to that. So.
Another question I had is, let's say I know they run into, Stu and Amy could run into where there is a power line involved with the tree. A lot of times there's a lot of waiting around to get that power company out there because they might be hit everywhere.
Mhm.
If you guys get over here within an hour or so from where you're at, are you able to take handle something like that?
As long as it is a dead line, we can cut it off.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
As
As
long
long
as it's a dead line, we
you
can
have
cut it
to still wait
Mhm.
on power to be de-energized to mess with it.
off. Yeah, it has to be a dead line though.
Yeah, with being line clearance certified, we're allowed working around the wires. Obviously, when it's down, that's, outside of their normal parameters. But if you're like, oh, there's a tree that's kind of hanging over and it's near, we're allowed being near that. Not every tree company's allowed to even be within.
It's called a minimum approach distance. We're allowed to that minimum approach distance,
Yeah.
which the regular 3-phase power lines are 12.7. We're allowed within 2 foot 4 inches from them.
And I'm not wanting to put you on the spot, but I know you rode around with Stu today, and I'm going to use one of these roads that I know, and I know the trustees are
Let me
very
see it.
familiar with
Let
it.
me see if I got it in my notes here.
But I keep thinking of Westfall, I think of Maplewood Street, I think of all these different roadways, like from point A to point B. Are you able to quote out
I can,
roughly something
Per
so
mile.
that you
I
can
can
compare?
do per road if you guys would like to. I can quote that out. Roughly, this is gonna be really rough, but like $6,000 to $10,000 a mile is what it's gonna come out to.
That's a rough
That's
estimate.
very rough because it could
They like
be,
it.
1 mile could be hardly nothing in it, and then, the next mile could be hammered with it, so. Yeah, Westfall Ave is about 1.25 miles long. Yeah, so that would take roughly that $6,000 to probably $12,000 mark because of the quarter mile.
Some of those areas are really heavy though.
Yeah, and that's daylighted.
But not all the roads are that heavy. I mean, there's a lot of roads you saw that, you're gonna go a long ways on that mile to get
Yeah,
6 to 10 grand or 12 grand.
Oh,
exactly.
If you gentlemen would have an idea, like say like if you were able to get through the township in a 5-year window of time, do you think then it would just keep getting less and less to touch it up?
100%,
Because I
yeah.
think it's major the first time through probably.
Yeah,
And our southern end down here is the more treacherous end
Mhm.
with the heavier trees. To me, I mean, our northern roads up that way aren't as bad. We got little spots here and there, but this is the biggest area down this way where we have the most trees now.
pretty much at Middleton now, we just do dead tree, like a dead tree program every year.
Yeah.
We go through, we hit the dead trees, we do the cemeteries, and that's about it now.
And that's getting to be a big thing anymore. Dead trees are just dying like crazy over the last 10
Trustees,
years.
another thing that I was thinking is our park area that we were looking at.
Oh, yeah.
Going in to do the perimeter around that park, like once the surveying done, it'd be a possibility that a company like Tree Works could go in there and get us a price on squaring up that neatly and around the perimeter.
Yeah, there's really not that many trees on it.
Another thing we actually just got certified in is pollinator plots. So if you guys look into that, there's starting to be a lot of grant money, et cetera. So what they'll do is, have a, 100 by 100 area that we can plant pollinator plots for bees, et cetera. We just got certified in that, so that's something that people are starting to, like the entrances to a park or, a new housing plan, et cetera, like the median, instead of them having to mow it all the time, you just maintain specific,
Native plants
Yeah.
or pollinators.
so that's something too that.
So if you don't want to mow that area, we could actually transform that into a pollinator plot then.
Which
So
you
then you don't,
get money back for that.
yeah, there's grants and everything for
Yeah,
that.
the states.
So, do you train your guys regularly in safety?
Yes, we all went through the IBEW Local 1919. We all went through their class. It's a 4-year apprenticeship.
Okay.
We've all been through that. First aid CPR certified, multiple with Red Cross and American Heart Association. They actually have them both.
Okay, and then, go ahead.
I was gonna say, we also have wildlife survival too, Columbia put us through, so if you would break your leg or something like that, then you gotta do that.
So we'll use back, you said Westfall was a good example. It's heavy,
Yep.
capped the whole way.
Mhm.
Is that something, because you have electric lines running in through all that you would be able to just turn off those lines while you go through there and then turn them back on?
No.
What do you do?
They stay hot while we work.
Yeah, we get around that.
I didn't see anything that was so close to where we'd have to have an outage or anything like that. It was all far enough away.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely, like I said, reach out to, like Johnson, reach out to him and, I'd assume his emails on, their website, maybe, call and,
Tim at Hanover Township.
Tim and Hanover, reach out to those guys. Hopefully they'll say some good stuff about us. They keep calling us to come work, so.
Right, they keep,
Yeah.
the phone keeps ringing.
The phone keeps ringing.
Just for just my interest only, what's a pollinator plot cost per acre, square foot? How's that go?
It would probably go by quarter acre.
Quarter acre?
I
Okay.
would have to price everything out
Yeah.
again, but I
Just
mean,
curious to see what that would be.
what happens is first year you go through, you till everything up.
It also depends what's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's just an open field, that's different than, this is fully wooded, we gotta cut it down.
Yeah, sure.
It actually takes 2 years to create a pollinator plot.
Okay,
First year you till, you
Okay.
plant all your grasses,
Great.
then you actually spray it with a herbicide to kill off the unwanted
Yep.
grasses. And then your other ones start to grow.
Yep.
Next year after that, you brush hog it twice, and then you should be good to go.
and then you let her grow.
Yep.
Let her fester.
Yep.
Alright, cool.
If anything, you might have to do a spot treatment every now and then.
Ron and Dave,
Probably be around, it would probably cost like $2,500, $4,000 a year to do
Okay,
per quarter acre.
okay.
Ron and Dave, if the trustees would take the interest in, doing this, where are you at on proposing to, how quick can you get some numbers, just so they can look at it?
Do you want to bid a road, or do you want an
Well, that's
hourly
what I was
rate?
gonna ask. I mean, you've been around, not to put you on a hot
Yeah.
seat, but if the trustees, we're gonna be doing road programs and all, we gotta see where we even would be able to do that financially. I'm just speaking on behalf of the money guy, because they're gonna ask me. I just wanna see, how quick you can get something.
I mean, I'm looking at 195 an hour or 395 for a bigger crew. That's what I'm looking at here, Brian.
Yeah.
So that's our quote.
Yeah,
The
But I mean,
355,
for like-
that's pretty much all our
6 to
equipment.
12,000.
but like to pick a roadway that the
Right.
trustees would wanna work on,
Right.
like to even have a bid out, or at least get us a good projection.
Yeah, if you wanna get a specific road and like really dig into it, let us know the road. We can absolutely give you a more firm down price on what that would be, and then use that road to test us out.
Another determining factor on what roads are doing that 5 years is what road you're chip and sealing that year too. So that's what we did for Middleton to get them started. They needed the roads opened up so they could get the trucks in there, because the county helps them chip and seal. So they have bigger trucks, so had to go lots.
Okay. Well, why don't we spend some time and talk with Stu, our road superintendent, and then let him reach back out to you and tell you what we're interested in, you giving us a quote on.
Yeah, that's fine. Great.
Any other questions, guys?
Thanks for coming in, guys.
All right,
thank
thank
you.
you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. And then we have Justin. Is it Beedling?
Thanks, guys.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, guys.
So I live over on 17th Street, which is a pretty far out road for Osnaburg. So I have to reach for a lot of other things, but my main concern is my neighbor, which is in Osnaburg Township now, per being zoning, he decided that he was gonna start a mechanics garage. So as you can see, this is my house here.
You spin that
Can
for
you
us?
pull it towards?
Yeah, thank you.
There you
There you
Is it better?
go. That's fine.
Or 17th and Broadway is where we're at?
17th and Broadway.
Okay, thank you.
So right here is the Osnaburg and Osnaburg line.
Yep.
17th and Osnaburg here. My house here. He moved in, everything's fine and dandy for a while. Now he decided he was gonna be a mechanic's garage there.
Okay.
My thing with that is I have two little girls at home. This now went from being a 1 or 2 car traffic road a day to up to 17 cars, trucks, semis, tow trucks a day. If you're not familiar with this road here is kind of a gravel road.
It is.
Don't really.
It's gravel.
Yeah, it's gravel.
It's
And it's a
not-
one-lane road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gravel and one lane.
Very.
Yeah, it's small. It's small
not
road.
suited to handle that traffic.
Right. Now, your neighbor's in Nimishillen, right?
He's in Nimishillen. I've
Okay.
already been through Nimishillen because he is on commercial here.
Oh, is it commercial?
He is allowed to have the business there. He's done his work, whatever he had to do for it, which is fine. I don't want to take money out of somebody's pocket. That's what you need to do, but my opinion, there's places for that. This picture here is old. There is now another garage here. That was a shed that he ripped down. There was another garage built here, within like last year.
Yeah, but
Some people built it at about 10 o'clock at night.
the road is in Osnaburg Township.
This is
That's
awesome.
right.
That's not zoned
Commercial.
commercial.
That's right.
I have video and pictures.
Well, I'm not
of some-
arguing with that.
Sure. Now, when I try to come in here after work, my wife tries to come in here, there's times that we gotta wait for people to back up here. Because this is what happens.
They come around,
This
right?
is what happens.
They're using our road for a roundabout.
Right.
They,
Yeah.
well,
Now,
So now-
is your driveway up past the cutoff? Where's
So-
your driveway?
technically my driveway per the property line is right here. That is it.
Okay.
Right where this blue.
So you drive down
blue truck's at.
17th and hang a left into your,
Right in my
okay,
driveway.
all right.
So the traffic this way all day long. So now I have tow trucks, 9, 10 o'clock at night that come up here. And now mind you, I know it is a road. I do park a vehicle right here. You wouldn't believe how many people drive down here
Park in front of it.
to the woods and realize there's no road.
What's beyond your house?
Right here, woods. There's a farm field here
It's
Okay.
all,
and woods.
Okay,
I
so
got
the road ends,
It just,
Yeah.
road ends, okay.
now, you do have your easement that goes all the way through. If I'm mistaken, this 17th Street has never gone all the way through. So I
It's
do-
on the map, but it's never
Yeah.
gone through.
it's gone.
So I
It's
do
not
park,
like it's
I do park here
Oh, is it?
for the purpose of stopping people from coming down basically into my backyard where my daughters are playing.
Do you-
Because people literally just will drive to the woods and they're like,
Is there a sign on 17th that says dead end?
No.
No, okay.
no, there's a stop sign and a 17th Street sign there and that's it. And I don't think that would stop anybody. to be
Yeah.
honest. But I don't know if there's something we can do because I will say, I don't think it's fair to you guys. He doesn't pay Osnaburg taxes or commercial taxes, but this road is absolutely getting destroyed.
And he says they're bringing big trucks in there, towing big trucks in there.
Semi trucks.
And they're swinging clear over into his
This-
yard.
This person's working on big,
Oh, and he'll work on anything. The trash that is building up here,
Gotcha.
there's washer and dryers sitting out there. There's 4-wheelers with just barely any tires on them sitting out there.
Right.
So this isn't an updated picture. He put a fence here and squared this off here.
Okay,
He put railroad ties here. He had a dispute with this neighbor. Had everything surveyed and he ran railroad ties here. Put gravel all through here to make it a 2-lane down
oh,
about
okay.
here. But he fills it all up with all kinds of stuff. Tow trucks don't want to come in here because they have to back in because they can't make this turn now.
All right,
Well, now all of his deliveries, all of his tow trucks want to come down here.
right.
There was one night, it was 10 o'clock at night. Now, I work for Stark County Engineers.
Mhm.
So at this time of the year, snow plowing. This 10 o'clock at night, my work truck parks here. This way, a tow truck stops here and is in the middle of spitting a vehicle out here to pull up in here for him to work on. Now, I can't get in and out of my house. I get called into work, I can't go. And you guys know the importance whenever the phone call comes in
Yeah.
for a tree.
So I'm just curious, it sounds like you know the neighborhood. Have there been, commercial or not, have there been complaints on the cleanliness of the property?
Not yet, because he just started his business in October.
Okay.
So it's
So
just now
if there's
starting to get
washers
done.
and dryers sitting outside, like,
It's coming.
it's coming, it's coming.
Yes.
And you guys need to know too, and I drove out there and looked. You can see where they're coming back 17,
Mhm.
and they're swinging wide and going over in his yard, front yard,
They're coming up into here.
clear out his yard to swing, to be able to swing them big trucks and stuff with on a tow truck.
To avoid
That ain't right
going
either.
into his, because, none of this was originally designed to handle
No.
big vehicle traffic.
So trustees, what do we,
Well, my question would be it'd be the Stark County engineer, because that is a Osnaburg Township road. I don't believe we have to give access to someone in Nemisho
No.
Township to our road. So we could actually stop the access onto that.
That's right.
you could put a barricade up.
We
or
could put a
You
guardrail,
could put a
anything
guardrail.
across it.
So we need to talk to the engineers on that, don't we?
Another question I would have, what about talking to Nemeshillen too? Just see what they have, like what are they really doing over there? So that work together on it to help the resident here.
Then Michelle, when I talked to them, they said that there's nothing there to do. Anything else to them would be turned in as a nuisance. That
Okay.
for their zoning, they're fine. But
For
I asked
us,
them-
we don't need to have them on our road with that type of equipment.
Yeah.
And I do think we should try to get a dead end road sign.
I know it doesn't.
There's that much traffic coming in there.
It
I'm telling you,
doesn't-
I'm gonna have
I
to
know
work
it,
on that
I
road.
know for the regulars, a dead end road sign's not gonna, for the people coming and going to this guy, it's not gonna change.
No,
But
but,
for the average person that just turns down 17th Street, it's like, oh, that doesn't go anywhere.
right.
You might catch a few people who not turn down your road and,
Sure.
the other thing you could do is since it's our roadway, we could put a barricade at the end of the road as well. So not in the turn in, but you could put a barricade at the end of the road. Now you'd probably leave enough room for this guy to park, of course. But then if you turn down the road and you see a barricade and dead end sign, you're gonna turn
You
back
put a
out.
barricade right across
You
where
know,
he's turning onto our property.
but
Is there a ditch along the north side of that road?
There was at one time,
Over here.
north side, there was a small ditch along there because I remember.
So it's
getting
draining across.
It's flat, everything. There is, and I don't know what it is, and I was gonna ask you, there's a pipe that comes out, I think it's about right here, that comes out from underneath the road.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's a
little bit.
CMP pipe. Now, I don't know where it comes from, because it doesn't tie into any of the systems on Broadway, because I've personally looked. There's nothing that ties in from any of the systems up here, because there's curb and gutter along here. There's nothing that ties in that goes that direction. Now, I do know this is the second house that's been on this property. Years ago, there was a house, they tried to leave the basement open. Stark County Health Department actually had to tell them to fill in the basement. So I don't know where that house was located, how it was filled, if that would be part of a drain that originally was from the original
The old
structure.
place.
But there's a 4-inch perforated that comes out of the 12-inch CMP. The 12-inch CMP is all full of dirt and debris, but there's a 4-inch that trickles water. I don't know where it comes from, but it does. There's always water running. You can almost kind of see the line
Yep.
in the grass here.
Yeah, is that your parcel in the front too?
Now, yes, I went through the program. I don't know who I talked to about it. People own this, they never mowed it, so I had to call and complain. So I went through the sidewalk program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it through sidewalk. You were successful. Good job.
I was.
Good job.
So, and it's so much nicer. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
every day,
Ryan, can you
front of my
zoom
house
out on that
faces
real
that way.
quick? I know this is probably not a talking point, but how is that parcel commercial?
This,
It's probably the whole area.
from what I saw, here, all the way through Eslich, all the way up to 153 is commercial. That's
Wow.
why that Josh's Landscape that's over here on the hill, which I
Yep.
want to get right in. Eslich has been there forever.
Okay.
There's that Rick's Auto at the end, he's been there forever.
Yep, I got you.
So, yeah, so it would be from about right here
Okay.
is zoned all commercial.
Wow.
Do you know
Blows me
how,
away.
so go back onto the house, Brian.
Slide to the right,
Over
there you
here,
go.
Right there.
Keep going, there you go.
So my concern is I have almost a 3-year-old and 8-month-old. My 3-year-old loves being outside.
Right.
I'm not so much worried about the traffic that is coming down. It's very seldom that somebody comes down here and figures out that they can't go all the way. My concern is, and it's not necessarily his customers, to be honest, that concern me. It's him. This is his test track
Right.
right here.
Right.
He's got a nice oval going.
Yeah.
He's turned into the person that he'd rather ask for forgiveness and permission. Usually when I'm at home, he's on my property doing things that he wants to do.
Right.
And then I question him, oh yeah, I did that. For instance, he's come over and shot guns in my backyard when I'm at home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I am liable at that point. You can't do that.
Brian, or south of this is that woodshed.
Yes.
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 So what's the roadway that goes back to Mr. Bryant's property?
Was 15th Street.
That was
15th.
15th?
Yes, it goes over.
And is that, that's been closed?
Yeah, that went over, well, it could have went straight across back through there
Okay.
and come out at the curve, Effinger.
So,
This is-
so
There's
fifth,
a woodshed here down in this area.
This is, oh no, I'm sorry, this is 15th Street.
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
okay,
This is an oil well
okay,
back here.
gotcha.
So I think our concern has to be
If he keeps using big trucks in and out of our road.
the damage to our
The dam-
road
that's
because
right.
it's not meant for that. And
That's just a grass.
Stu, how do you push it now?
it's a residential area, and
550
so
pushes that?
we're
Yes,
not zoned for
pushing
that
it over
commercial
into
traffic
towards
really to
that.
be there.
The road's not designed for commercial traffic.
And so Randy, I would see if Randy's in charge of the roads, if you could follow up with the engineer's office to see if we could.
It's been a couple years since I've been out there. I'll come out here and look at it.
'Cause it's not fair to you guys to have to.
I
No.
think we just need to look at
Well, I
blocking
think
off
the only thing you're
access.
gonna be
Well, we're gonna
The
be
only thing
working
you do
on
is
it, if
put
they're
a
gonna bring big
guardrail
trucks
on.
like that in there.
You can put all the signage you want,
I know.
unless you got a cop sitting there, they ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, you're right, a guardrail stops it, but,
A guardrail stops him from going across there.
I just want to make sure that we can,
That was
Block
never a
access to
swing
that.
around like that.
because that driveway shouldn't have access to that road.
well, and what we can say to New Michelin is.
He has access out to the
What
property.
we could say to New Michelin too is if they respond, we could say, hey, you've got a commercial piece of property next to our 17th Street that we have to maintain.
I know.
And now it's getting all
Let me-
kinds of traffic.
Let me call one of the
Yep.
trustees. Does he have like business hours out there?
He has a sign out, and then if you actually, I don't know why that doesn't say, if you actually like use your phone, Google Maps, come
Yeah, it
up,
comes
he's
up.
got,
Yeah, Google
he comes
Maps.
up with Big Mike's Auto, huge.
Okay.
I mean, it'll fill up this whole area in lettering whenever you pull it up, like just through your phone. He's got a Facebook page about it. I think his hours are from 8 to 5.
Okay.
I don't ever see him until about 10
Well,
o'clock in the morning.
and just
I
to
can
be-
hear him until about 2.
I don't have
It makes me
anything
tired just
against
thinking about
somebody working and doing a business at their home. There's no problem there. But it's a problem when you invade or cause problems for neighbors.
Yeah.
That's not acceptable.
No,
And when you do damage to the roads, which
So,
they evidently
Are these 3 parcel blocks yours?
this one is from the side lot, this one's mine, this one's mine.
Yep.
This one's mine, this one's mine. These are the original owners that kept the property for the oil well, and they have the mineral rights still.
So
for
you've
this.
got 5 plots
I
there.
have, yes,
Okay,
I have this
those
little,
3 and those 2.
little lazy out.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
They hear it, they keep coming over and questioning me about how are you? I'm like, I'm not, but I gotta go through a process.
Yeah, right.
He can start it up overnight, but it takes me months to go through the process. Now, granted, I know it's been going on since October of last year, and this is my first time coming to you guys. I understand. I did give him the benefit of the doubt at the start, because he approached me, telling me that he was gonna do the business, which is fine. And I said, okay, the only thing I have with that is, I don't want everything in front of my house. And he said, no, everything will be over here. I have pictures of semi trucks parked right here running while he does other things.
Yep.
And my living room is right here.
Yeah.
I pulled in there one day and there was a semi truck sitting there, he was working on it, right up almost down towards the
Well,
road.
we need to talk to the engineers, but in my opinion, I mean, we can say the wear and tear on 17th Street, we do maintain that road. We understand that New Michelin has a commercial property, which we get, we understand that.
But we're rural residents.
But we're residential and there's already access to this property. we're not cutting the guy's access off.
No.
He already has another driveway that comes in.
That's right.
So if he has to put a big turnaround in at the north side of that, then you have to put a big turnaround in. I
Well,
don't know.
he could
He
actually,
even has a very nice heavy, big cement apron out there coming off his road. And
he could actually put a driveway U on that side as long as he stayed off our road, right?
Yeah, he could. He could put a driveway right along the side of there.
And he
Yeah.
could, he'd do
This-
that, but it
Another
would,
showing zoning code is he has to provide access to and from his business.
Okay.
So
For his customers.
as far, yes, per the Michelle.
Okay.
How far apart is it from the house to the building?
Looks tight, doesn't
To
it?
here,
Yeah.
And you said he fenced it.
No, from the back of the house.
From the back of his house to his
Yeah,
garage.
that's how I just,
but here's where he might run into an issue here. Right here's his septic. I don't know where his leach lines go.
Yeah.
yeah, he needs to get rid of
You
the
can't build
house.
over that. This needed to come here.
Yeah, right.
He kind of, long history, he kind of squeezed his way into this house. He never should have had it in the first place, but that's a whole nother ballgame. But he has a fence off the corner of this house, right to the edge of his driveway. It runs up, squares off, and then runs here. He put that up for his dog to have for an area, which is fine, but he pinched himself here, because now,
Well,
about here's all gravel, but he's got it lined up with stuff, so that
yeah.
he can't make the turn, so
Well,
that's why,
That's
All
not a
the
new
trucks
house.
want-
is it?
That's not a new house.
no, that house.
No, that house has been there for a long
That house
time.
been there
So
for a
the-
long
so
time.
the-
The
this-
house was probably there before it was zoned.
I don't know when the zoning took place.
The other thing that he could do, because the back of the property is so tight to the garage, is he could make his U in front of his house, which
not to the
doesn't look all that
township,
great,
but to
but if
the
somebody
county.
pulls in and has to drop something or a rollback, I'm sure you get rollbacks. Then you make the U in the front of the house, and then we keep 17 closed to all that traffic.
That's his problem.
And it
That's
was-
his problem.
Yeah, he started a business there in his property that he has.
Yeah.
My
So-
opinion, he needs to figure out how to handle it
Right.
on his property.
Right.
for the county regulations, they do have access management in place, which means on any county road, you have to apply and be granted the right to put a driveway in off a county road or an access. For the township, we, and they charge you fees to do that. In our township, we don't, we've opted out of that charging fees. We don't have a requirement for access management onto township roads. But we do monitor the area. So rural residential, even though and regional planning really shouldn't have butted a commercial property up against rural residential. It's supposed to be stepped down. Evidently, they didn't do that.
Right.
So
What do you mean by stuff?
if you're going for, we're rural residential, there's R1, R2, R3 that are more like, you can get into like duplexes and things before you get to business zones. You're supposed to have buffer
Yeah.
moving.
They shouldn't have come with commercial all the way to our line. They should have stepped it down to an R1, R2,
Right.
because we're rural residential, right?
I
Correct.
believe New Sean said that was zone B2 commercial,
Okay.
so like anything goes,
Wow.
the way I took it.
But still, but that, like I said, there's RR is the lowest, rural residential, there's R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, and you go to B1 and B2. So you can see how far that was away from RR.
Yeah, and that's what I was referring to, like, if that's B2 and they're supposed to
Yeah.
step it down.
Yeah, it's not,
that's-
what close.
That's
Well,
a cliff.
What they probably did is they took up Estlage or a big company and they said, we can't spot zone. So we can't give one person. So they probably took a big chunk of land into Michelle and said, we're making it all one because we can't spot zone.
And then they probably never understood.
Yeah.
I don't know how far over to the west Memishillen goes, because Jeffrey's, that slag plant is over that way. When you get to,
Probably to
Mahoney,
Canton,
or
yeah.
Trump.
This person does not own the plot behind him.
No. This is,
That's not.
That's a
okay.
farm.
yeah, this is a leased land from the farmer down here on
Okay.
Broadway.
Okay.
But I didn't know
If
what
he's doing a
Memishillen
successful
looked
business,
like.
he ought to maybe consider moving it somewhere else.
This garage is places.
So,
For that.
all right, we'll
But
follow
that-
up with the
Yeah.
engineer and.
So,
And
I appreciate you
can
coming
stay
in.
in touch with
Is
Randy.
his phone number on there?
You got a phone number?
Yep. Yeah, it was written down there. I can give it to you again if you'd like to. Stu has my number too.
Yep, I have his number.
Great. All right. Yeah. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate your
Yeah, I
concern, and
appreciate your guys'
we'll do whatever we can.
I mean,
to
it's
help
a
you.
valid complaint, so.
I'll follow up. with you.
I'll be back in touch with you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank
guys.
you.
Have a good night.
Good luck trying to get to your house tonight.
Yeah. I make that move. I don't know.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys.
See ya.
See you soon.
All right, we are going to move on to the fire report and Chief Parker.
Okay. I had mentioned before, we were having some issues with the hot water tank. It is still heating water, we are still getting water, it is leaking pretty bad. So we need to start having some conversations about what the plan is going to be. That hot water tank is original to the building, so it's from 1998.
Oh, wow.
It's a 100-gallon tank.
That did well.
Does it run off the gas?
It's 100 gallons.
100 gallons.
You guys take shower after shower in there?
I didn't
God
know it.
gracious.
I don't know that we need to replace it with another
Like a
100-gallon
small apartment.
tank.
100 gallon
I
tank.
had talked to Captain Adams about the feasibility of a tankless, and he said with the way our gear washer works, that it would likely not be compatible with a tankless hot water
Oh,
tank because of the temperature it has to maintain for the gear washer,
That's not true.
which is above.
It'll cost more, but there's tankless.
It'll work.
There's tankless that'll work.
Okay.
and that's probably why it's 100 gallon, because you've got the parts, the gear washer.
Well, no, it was put in long before the gear washer.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No, it's,
Trying to
it's original
justify
to
it.
the building. The gear washer
Alright.
is like 5 years old.
So can
no.
we look up at the gear washer and see what it calls for, so we know how big of a tankless or tanked we need to put in?
Sure.
They'll just go off of BTUs.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't, yeah. So like I said, it's still working, but like it's leaking.
It's on borrowed time.
Yeah, so we just need to
I-
be seriously thinking about
I
it.
can get a quote
That's fine.
for that. Brian, who are we using in the plumbing world? We using Kevin Miller?
We use him, but we got quotes off of it. There was someone else that.
K&K.
K and K's in your book too?
Yeah.
All right, I'll call both. I'll call Kevin and I will call K and K. I'll get quotes for a new
And
hot water
saying
heater.
a 50 would be.
You said it's currently gas? It's currently gas and it's currently 100.
Well, you might have an issue there. If you don't have the size for your washer, but I'm sure there's tankless that will handle that.
Okay,
I'm sure of it.
okay,
Because we have one at our place that.
Well, I'm gonna get-
300,000 BTU.
I'll
okay.
get quotes for both and I'll get quotes for both guys and
Okay.
both tankless and tanked.
Yeah, because I
good?
mean, if the tankless is really expensive, they don't use that much hot water there.
We don't, I mean, maybe 2 showers.
Yeah.
With each person in one.
I don't think
mean,
that's what that was put in for. It was for that tank washer or the equipment washer.
No, she said it was put in.
No, that was put in just 2
Prior.
years ago. And that 100-gallon tank was put in with the building.
I
How
think back
did
when the
you
building
wash
was
it
built, they used to
before?
put in
Here?
bigger ones.
Yeah.
We didn't, I mean, we just.
It wasn't a
It's
requirement
Oh,
then.
I misunderstood.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin Miller and K are both gonna get called and we'll see if we can get quotes from them. I'll ask for written quotes so we can bring it back to you, Brian. Bring it back to the team. Do we want to make a motion to move on that? Would you rather hear the numbers and do
There were the
that?
numbers on here.
Okay,
I mean,
Yeah, I think.
is
we
it
wanna-
still running?
Yes.
it's still running.
Yep.
All right, next meeting, we'll do it.
That
Okay,
should be quick. If you get something before then, I mean, we can.
Okay. Sounds
work
good.
something out.
The next thing I had here on was the garage door, which looks like Fiscal Officer Lowry has that on his sheet as well. One of the back bay doors broke, and it actually broke on a Saturday, and one of them called me and I was like, hey, that's a back door, let's wait till Monday. So we were able to wait until actual business hours. and they
So
came
there's
out.
another door that needs repaired.
No, that's it,
That's it?
that's it.
That's all, okay.
Fiscal officer, is that the number?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you all can wait and do the line for me, that'd help me.
Okay, I can come back.
Wait, you're-
So was that a track that broke or what broke? Not the door itself?
No, I don't even think it was a spring. I believe it came off the track.
Okay.
Is what that one
I
was.
was gonna say, that bill is cheap
Yeah, I don't think it was.
to
a
come out and
spring.
do something, they
We
probably
had
to put it back
spring,
on.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you think you're gonna die.
that's labor right there.
Because they're such big springs.
Yeah.
It looks like some of the other stuff I have is on there, so I'll skip that for now. I just wanted to mention that I went to the Ohio Billing 2-day conference. Did Sue tell you that they are reimbursing the $99? So you will see it, the amount we paid for it. They
Who's
had
reimbursing Ohio Billing?
Ohio Billing is reimbursing the township, or they're going to take it off one of the bills from Ohio Billing. They're reimbursing it because they had spots for people coming from the Cleveland Clinic because they were a sponsor, and so because I came, they didn't charge me. So you'll be getting the $99 back. But during that, they talked a lot about the Medicare reporting. We were chosen to report this year, so we have till May 31st. Okay. I just wanted to make sure we were all, if there's numbers
Yeah,
that you need
and
from
the
me. or-
Medicare reporting is being done by HILVALE,
Yes.
and that's what the trustees approved, and they're
Yeah.
already working on that.
Okay,
But that's what information, when Sue gets to you or
Yep.
things that are needed,
Yep.
they're gonna get that hit,
okay.
so.
Yeah, they talked a lot about that the second day, so I was just, okay. We had 2 interviews on Friday, 2 actually really good interviews, and I followed up with both of them today, and they are both interested in employment. They're both already trained. One is an EMT, one is a paramedic.
Hallelujah.
What's that?
Hallelujah.
I know. One is younger. She is a brand new EMT, she's a brand new paramedic firefighter. She lives in Washington Township, so she's not far. So she would take some training, but she, like, for us, so like she would have to drive our trucks and run our trucks, but she has all of her actual state certs. The other person he's a firefighter EMT basic, and he has been doing it for about 10 years part-time, so he's a welder. He works Monday through Friday, and he is looking for some weekends.
What's his name?
His name is Randall Hopkins.
Where is he from?
Lives in Orville. He currently drives to Bolivar to work as a firefighter EMT.
Oh.
And 2 of our people work at Bolivar, and that was the connection. And so he applied and wants to work weekends.
Who wants to work weekends? And yes, please.
2, I know, 2 out of these 2 plus our previous hire, 2 of them have said they just really want to work weekends because they have a regular job.
Is Tyler getting some time yet?
He came up, we got him gear.
Good.
So we have been able to set up with him.
All right,
So
good.
we've started that process.
So where would we be with gear with these 2?
So with gear, for our newest hire, we borrowed a set from Canton Township. Partially, we got the grant for sets of gear, so that is pretty much 8 to 9 months out, even if we order it now. We have had really good luck borrowing some gear, and other departments are in a pretty similar situation, that even if they order it. So we currently have some from Canton Township. We for sure will have gear for her. I'm not positive yet about the other guy. So if not, we've also had really good luck borrowing gear from Marathon temporarily.
Amy, if we were to hire Sarah and Randall, what would be our number?
I believe it would be 18, but that counts our military person that's on leave, and I also have another person who needs to go on leave. I talked to her today. She's doing her apprenticeship to be on the road crew, and so essentially she's working 10 to 12-hour days, 6 days a week right now, until November when she gets laid off. And so she was asking for a leave.
What's Randall's last name?
Hopkins.
Hopkins?
Yeah. You can't those up to them.
Is your recommendation to hire both?
Yeah.
Amy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sarah, what would be an hourly rate?
So she is a paramedic, so it would be $16.85.
And the EMT basic,
Yep. Is the $15.35. I would have to look, but it's the 15 amount.
Yeah. My opinion, I feel that we should hire both of these folks, and that's, and the reason I feel that's the case is we do have a lot of our firefighters still running from home. Tyler and Amy run a lot from home, and so the more people we can get in to work those weekend shifts, it's going to help relieve some regular folks. So my recommendation is to hire them both.
Any motion?
I can make a motion. Do we have any more conversation?
No, I mean, I think we need to get our roster up.
Yeah,
See
I
it up
agree.
to 20.
How do you pronounce Sarah's last name?
Toronto.
Toronto. Okay.
I believe it's like the city.
Okay.
But
Trustee Varian makes a motion to hire Sarah Toronto. I'm sorry. What was her rate? What was her class?
16.85.
What was her rate?
Paramedic.
Oh, paramedic at 1685.
Griffith will second. All in favor? Aye.
We should have given a date of start time. When do you want to start her?
Probably the next pay.
Is that okay, Brian?
yeah,
What would that date be?
It's due this Saturday. This current one ends this Saturday, so
So don't hire before that.
it would be the 16th.
16th? Okay, effective the 16th. Okay. April.
I mean, can you come in right away or what?
I would have them come in this week and get a key, get gear,
Yeah,
get
radio.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I would say
Just
starting next week,
You can get on the
I mean,
schedule.
don't let them start till you get paperwork, because I need W-2 forms, state forms, all that stuff, because
Yeah.
what happens is I can't fill out payrolls and stuff until I have that.
Okay.
So emphasize that.
I'll just tell them
They-
they can't get paid.
They can't get paid, and guess what?
That's the easy
That'll
way
move
to
it
do
quick.
If you'd like to get paid for this paperwork.
Trustee Varian moves to hire Randall Hopkins, and he's a basic at $15.35. We're gonna double check on that. It's a $15 rate, starting April 16th, not before.
Trustee Pierce seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's good news.
I know.
It's great news. Thank you.
I know we have stuff to come back to, but we had 77 calls since 310. So I know that's 2 meetings worth, but that first Saturday, the winds came through. We ran 28 calls that day. We have never, since I've worked here, run 28 calls in one day. We had 5 different people and 3 different trucks going around just trying to work with the road department, keeping roads open, keeping things were on fire, we worked really hard that day, all of us, right?
Yes, we did too, yeah. Can I tell a quick story?
Yeah.
So Tyler told me a story that he had run home for something that was in his car. And for
Yeah.
whatever reason, he threw a Sawzall in his car to cut a tree or something. And later in the
The
day,
house.
later
The one
in-
blew off that house.
Yes.
To take off the
so
gutter.
later in the day, he had an entrapment and was there with his car and didn't have the jaws of life. And he used his Sawzall that was in the bed of his truck to cut a person out of the car. So it was all hands on deck. It was, if you were breathing, you were cutting something out. Yeah. So kind of wild. But anyway, sorry.
So 3 assists to Canton Township. Most of those have been tanker assists. They have had quite a few structure fires. Several other assists on here. The one thing I wanted to mention, sometimes when the minutes come out from the previous meeting, it'll say like runs turned over or not. I don't usually like state on here if we've turned them over or not. So I'm gonna try really hard to put that on here so that's accurate information. So on here it says 3 assists from Nimishillen Township and 2 of them Nimishillen transported. So those were nights where we either had 1 or none at the station and they transported. So that was 2 different times that our residents were transported at
Okay.
Nimishillen. It was one night and the calls were like pretty much within a couple of hours. So we were short.
All right.
Anything else?
We need to do the rest of those.
I don't know if he's ready yet. While we're waiting for Brian on that, remember about a month ago, we talked about the P-ball?
Oh, yeah.
And so I need to know for sure as we're starting to schedule this stuff out, someone going to do that? At that clip, you were looking for someone to run it for them.
I think we can get people to run it. Do you want to try to access it? I mean, I think it's.
I can get it. Physically getting it's not an issue. I know what it is this time, but
I think, how many nights is the festival? 2? 2 nights. I feel like we need to say yes and figure it out because I think between our team and even some of our new folks, like even if Sarah and Randy will be like, hey, go hang out with Trustee Varian at the P-ball game one night, like.
just need to call Frank.
Okay, is he the guy?
Legit.
Frank will come do it.
Yep. I don't know what his ability is to stand there all night anymore, but
I
I
understand.
mean, he was always the one that did it.
Well, let's
If
plan.
nothing else,
Why
we
don't
can
you
just
tell
plan
your
it.
committee that we'll plan on it and we'll get it done.
Okay.
Let's get it done. Because I think people will enjoy it.
Sounds like people are asking for it.
Sounds like
No, they are. And
I
I
know.
was like, I don't even know what P-ball is.
All right.
Okay.
Low skill gambling.
All right, Brian,
Are you ready
to do
for
those
these motions?
Yep, he's ready.
You ready?
All right.
The resolution for the Atlantic Emergency Solutions fire hoses, that actually was approved last year for up to 2,000, but that purchase order expired in December of 24.
So we need to
So
redo
we're
it.
just now being able to get that.
Just
So
now.
that's the exact amount. I'd
Okay.
like approval for that.
Trustee Varian moves to pay Atlantic Emergency Solutions $1,800, $1,835.30 for fire hose.
Trustee Pierce seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next one from Atlantic Emergency is the SCBA mask for $315 that came in. I'll be able to use the grant PPE equipment money, which I already accounted for, even though we're just getting it, I already have that in the budget.
We still need a new motion though, right?
Yes.
All right, Trustee Varian moves to pay Atlantic Emergency Solutions $315 even for SCBA mask.
Trustee Bureau seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Then the next one there is your garage door repairs. I did get that actual invoice.
And that's
So
that an hour?
That's it. That can be exactly it.
Okay, great. Trustee Barry moves to pay Magic Door $379.75 for the repair of an overhead garage door rear of the building.
Trustee Bureau seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the other one about receiving the grant, the 5,000, we did deposit that in. It's in there, so it's reflected on your treasurer's report.
So what do we need to do to purchase some of that gear?
It just looks like when I read their rules, it just says everything that's PPE type equipment.
Yeah.
Anything to do with safety, all we have to do is account whether you do it, like if you order it,
Mhm.
turnout gear,
Okay,
face mask, anything. We need something to tell us that's what you want to use it for.
so,
You actually have another almost 5,000 in that's already in there previous, so you got
Okay.
10,000 in that fund.
okay,
Okay.
so we at least need to start ordering like some helmets and gloves to outfit our people, even if we can borrow some of the actual like bunker gear, we need to start ordering some of that stuff. So I just wanted to check what we need to do. Are we able to order some of that?
You're able to order any
Okay.
PPE equipment up to 5,000
Okay.
right now without any questions,
Okay.
based on, you already submitted in and it's
Okay.
already been approved in the grant.
Okay,
What you need to do, make sure for us, Amy, is to make sure we know what items you are getting, so we can
Yep.
credit it.
okay,
So once you get, say it's 4,950.
Yep.
We'll know where we're at.
okay.
So you don't need us to approve them spending the 5,000 on PPE equipment?
No, because the grant has been approved.
Okay.
And the 5,000, always remember, last year, the $5,000, I can't remember how it came in, but we already received money from last year that's sitting there in that fund.
Okay.
This year, it can immediately be
Okay.
spent right now.
Okay,
This 5,000, I just take in and I put it in as certifying it and let her use that up to 5,000.
Okay.
Once you go past 5,000, you got to kind of do the math on it.
well,
Let
and
us know.
Captain Nelson did, like, he went through, he looked at what we needed, it's like 49.35 or something is what he's up to.
Yeah, all your safety equipment
Yep.
is part of the regular budget that the trustees have in front of them.
Okay.
As things get broke or repaired and be replaced, unless it's something out of the ordinary, something new. Like when I say a new item that you're gonna, hey, we're gonna bring in some new device, that's where it needs to go back in front of them.
Okay,
All your repairs, like you guys are on an emergency, you need to repair it, you need to get it fixed
Yep.
right away, you gotta get it.
okay,
A quick point of clarity. I've been here like 4 years now, I think, and we're close to it. We've repaired a lot of garage doors at the fire department.
Yeah.
It's a normal thing for them to break. Is it just that time? Or
Yes.
is it something that we need to have magic
It's
door?
been like, what was the most used one? What was the second most used one?
Okay.
Like, the one in the back corner is still good, because we don't.
We don't
open
ever
that
use
one.
it. Okay.
Yeah, from what we were told when that first one broke, Magic Door was like, well, that's the first. Because
First
they're
of
25
Years old. Okay.
years old.
Does it make any sense? I mean, I don't know that we have the money to spend it, but does it make any sense to have a magic door, another door company come out and give us some quotes to begin to repair the entire door, or no?
The only thing that we have, I mean,
They're expensive.
one of the things we have working for us is we don't have all the bays built. So if/when one breaks, we've been able to move stuff around, so it doesn't like put us out of service.
Yeah.
So because of that, I don't know that we necessarily need to like,
Great. We'll table that.
I mean, even the one that just broke was on the backside.
Yep.
So,
Okay. Great.
the only other thing I will ask, I think we talked about this before, we need station keys. But they all say do not duplicate. I know we had this conversation. What do we need
We do.
to do? We talked about this.
We talked about this.
I need like 5.
Beerley's will do it.
So
Do it, who will do it?
Beerley's, Canton, Beerley Littman.
So that even,
Locksmith.
like, even though it says, they'll,
If you explain like I'm the chief and
yeah.
oh,
I'm not like some con man
Sure.
kind of, yeah. They'll do it.
okay,
At least they've done it for me for church keys and stuff.
I've done a do not duplicate at Ace before.
I was saying Metzger's if I do, yeah,
I-
right. I would,
Okay.
I walked in with a church key for Paradise Church. I was like, hey, I'm the director of the preschool. I need an
Okay.
key. They're like, all
I'll
right.
try.
I'm like, okay.
you probably have
Try.
some.
Try and let me know, because the locksmith we have out there will do them.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna-
Rekeyed all that, the guy, that Chapnar guy, he's
Sure.
rekeyed. He can do them on site for you.
Jamie Sabrin is in locksmith in Louisville as well. And
Sure.
we use him. I think those are the guys that are officially supposed to make the do not duplicate keys, like
Sure.
the actual locksmith. But I think a
Also,
key cutter at
Ace.
a convenience store hardware store probably do
As long as they have the blank, yeah.
And I'm gonna let you keep track of it at the fire station, because I keep track of all those here.
So we have them all written down by number and who they're issued to.
Okay.
So I have several keys, but they're not basic firefighter keys. Like they open more than just the doors, and they're not issuing those. So.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll see what I can do.
All right, let's move on to cemetery, Ryan.
I don't have a lot to report for the cemeteries, except done all the spring cleanup and
Filled the dumpster up a couple times.
yeah, there was quite a lot of,
After all that wind, I bet you had a lot of cleanup.
I chased those red bugs clear down to your house. I think I got them all. Yeah, over at Elson Cemetery, I did a little bit more cleanup there than I normally do. I blew it all out and it looks really good until the next windstorm. Same with Wildwood, did a lot of.
No
leaf
recent
cleanup there.
business, I hope.
What's that?
You haven't had any recent business?
No, none.
Yeah, good.
I've had a few people mention, hey, I need to get with you about buying a lot, but that's all the farther it's gotten. Yeah, I'm not knocking down doors to get a sale.
Yeah, right.
I think that's it.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the road report.
Good
Stu?
evening, everybody. The trustees have looked over the road report. Is there any questions you'd like to ask?
I would say about the tree trimming, guys, just to come up with what you think would be a sample road you want to do, that you think would be important or make a difference. And I was gonna say it before he did, in our road plan, what, you know. I do think once we get them done, they'll be good for a long time.
Yeah,
Why,
I think
I
some of our,
wonder, the ones with the power lines, I heard the PUCO is really getting after these power companies to trim these lines out. Now they're working on the main roads, whether they're gonna come in and do some of that. Some of that's got lines to it, doesn't it?
say it again?
Some of them strip roads have lines going up them, right?
Oh, yeah, some do, yeah.
We may not have to pay for them.
Well, usually what they're doing is they're just hewing out around the line.
They're not doing that out by us now. I mean, they've been cutting heavy. You see all that up around 172, but I've heard the PUCO is after them because they're tired of that business. Because it doesn't work. It
Yeah.
dies and then it falls and busts the line.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they have taken a lot out of us, up by us.
And then weren't you complaining to Denny that back the Fair Hill, they left all that in the ditch?
Yes, it's all laying in the ditch and laying up on the bank. I just drove up there today when I went, ran all these southern roads down here with Dan. Yeah, ran clear up there,
Who's
turned
that?
around.
Who's that?
Who was the tree company that did that?
I don't know,
They cut it for the power company?
I
I was
think they
hoping
cut
you could
for
tell
AP,
me.
yeah.
because I have no idea. I drove up there checking roads one day and there's all that.
So,
I mean, they did a good job of cutting the trees, back, but
so
left everything chunked up, piled up, stacked in a ditch up on the bank.
Oh, yeah, that's what they're doing up by, but
well, out by you on 172, like across from the Stilianos family, going that bank is completely clear.
They're-
Big trees. I mean, they're dropping.
Mhm.
And who's doing that? Is it the power company?
they're the power company's hiring.
They're
They're-
subcontractors.
They're
I mean,
subbing out.
they're cutting back the whole bank.
They're subbing out Aspen.
But they're getting in trouble.
Nelson.
They had ever and ever and
I
ever.
see.
And now
There's firewood all
oh
along
my
there. There's
God,
piles of firewood.
logs.
Our three probably worst roads in our township right now are Mapleton Street, Westfall, Fair Hill.
Trying to think of the roads that we were on
Yeah.
the past 2 weekends.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the ones that are just on both sides, just
Yeah.
camping over.
Cap the whole.
And it's really hard in the wintertime. You can't get sun to them.
Yeah.
And they're the one of the roads that, those three right there, always trees down.
Westfall for sure.
Yes,
We're always out on Westfall.
yes. Yep.
Well, I think that if we ask them to get us a more firmer quote, we need to give them the road and they need to go look at it and come back with a
Yeah.
good estimate.
I agree. We think it's gonna take us this amount of time at this value and,
Because they can see what trees there are.
yeah. And I mean, they're not gonna get perfect, but probably close.
Right. You know, better than between 4 and 10,000. so.
Right.
Okay. So tell me about Mike Wheeler. He's agreed to do summer work.
Yeah,
again?
he's been working with us for the last, week and a half now.
Okay.
Great.
Working out good.
Stu, when you, I don't know if I talked to you after we talked at the gas pump at the fire station. Did they decide to put a new pump on
They
that?
put a new pump on it.
Great.
It's
That's
already
great.
taken care of.
New pump on it. Wonderful. So we can get gas now.
They replaced it last week.
All right.
Yep, they
Thank you.
replaced it.
Thanks for helping out there.
Yep.
So are you going to be pulling out the list of roads that you're looking at maybe wanting to do here this,
For dirt, or
for the summer program?
chip and seal?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because I know
Yep,
we're
already
behind.
working on that. One of our things that I think Brian even has down here is that Durapatcher. We're trying to get that thing ready to go, but the one board on there that controls the big arrow in the back, flashes for our safety, the center's out on it, and we checked it, the board's bad. It only flashes on the 2 arrow ends.
Is it LED?
And- No.
Oh, no.
It's like trustees, when Brian was showing me out there, the board is actually acting up, what it's been troubleshot
Yeah.
down to. So Brian, I asked him with Stu's involved to get pricing for me.
For a new board.
Yeah, for
Yes.
that new board, and that board, like a factory board, in the $400 or $500 range. Then they found it off of some of our vendors that we deal with in the $200
Oh,
range.
there's an actual aftermarket supply for this
But
product.
then there's on eBay and these other places,
eBay
it's
and-
under that.
Yeah, even under 200. something.
But the only thing I kind of found on myself, and I hesitated, is because till you go buy it, pay the shipping, if you have a problem, you still are almost at $200 buying it off of eBay. I would,
I'd rather pay up for it and make sure it's right, because
Well,
it's the safety.
I think
of
there
these
was one
guys.
vendor that Brian told me, Stu, and I don't know which one you deal with, said it was around $100,
Okay.
but I don't know which vendor that was. There's somebody that could get it, one of your vendors. that
Well,
will
and I look at it this way,
sign
if you get a repop, and that's the first electrical thing to go bad on that, it went bad on somebody else. too.
When we were up at Evans Supply,
Yeah, that's one.
he got on his computer there and found one for, I thought it was 200 and some, but then I thought we came back and found it for like 100 and some, but I'm not sure.
Well, the one he found for 100 and some, 169.90 was off of eBay.
Yeah.
So you still gotta pay some money to get it, and for 40, 50, 60 bucks, I'd rather deal off of a.
Cause I
I'm
want to get moving on
recommending
this.
that,
'cause
Well, and
I'm gonna be
get
ready
it
to
from
start.
get it from a vendor that if in a week it goes out again, you're saying to the vendor, hey, we just bought this part right. You're not sending it back to eBay. You're taking a chance at that. So do we need to approve that?
I would approve up to a dollar amount. Do you know what Evans was, Stu, roughly? He said in like right around 200 and some, but I don't know if it was.
I would
some-
say 225 or something like that.
Trustee Pierre moves to purchase a control board for the Durapatcher not to exceed 250.
Trustee Varian second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There you go.
You'll get your blinker back.
Be 255.
It'll be 250.
Let's see. The next thing, I got a call from Marlboro today. The 90-degree elbow for that 48-inch culvert is in. They have everything else there in the yard. I talked to Andy Parker, and we were hoping to possibly go ahead and do that job next week. I've already went and got 304 crushed concrete. I've even got the 9s. We went down and got 2 loads to add in with what we got up there. So we're looking pretty good in our sheds up there with all our stone.
You might want to update what area you're talking about, because Trustee Griffin.
From Argyle and Baker.
Yeah.
There's a big 48-inch culvert that goes underneath Argyle and runs down along towards Baker, to Baker at the intersection there.
And you were,
It's rotted out. It's all rotted
but
out.
you're
We wanna
dropping
get-
a box in there, right?
Huh?
I thought you were putting a box in
No,
there.
it's too expensive.
Okay,
We checked into that. We were-
okay,
It
I
was
was
gonna
thinking it was
end up
the
being
other
$5,000-6,000
yeah,
For the catch basin.
for that big
Yeah.
catch basin, because it had to be specially made to go with that big.
okay.
Andy helped us on that, even checking into it, and yeah, I called, he called, and elbow was cheaper.
Okay.
So we got everything. I just got to call Scott back at Marlboro and make out the day to bring down. He's gonna bring everything in 2 different shipments. He'll bring the stuff for here that we need for this year, right here at the
So you
yard.
ordered that pipe, but we didn't get it yet.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, everything's in.
Everything's there.
Yeah, everything's there. He'll
Okay.
bring the one pipe down for that job on Argyle, right to Argyle where we need it, and then he'll bring the rest of the stuff right here to the yard.
Okay.
And Andy said on the phone today, just to let you guys know and to tell you, because he never really gave me a quote on it, but he told me 2,000 for him bringing his Traco and equipment and everything to do that.
Okay.
And he's calling 188 or 811.
Call for your day.
Check for the little gas line. There's a gas line that comes underneath.
Yeah.
Okay. To make sure where everything's at before we go to do it next week.
So I'm gonna assume you heard this too at the last county engineers meeting, that they did not go with the person we normally use for chip and seal, that they were using a different company for the county.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah, I remember that.
So when we put that out for bid, we probably want to, and I don't remember the name of that company.
I don't either.
We'll probably have to ask them.
I don't even know if I ever heard that company before.
I don't know, but we probably want to get a bid from them, since they're gonna be in here for the county, as well as our usual. I mean, I'm not saying we're gonna use them, but the cats who the county's bringing in, and we might get a better price because they're here.
I'll call Keith or Dave
Yeah.
Torrance and ask them what that company was,
Yeah.
what the name is.
It may be on that report we
Yeah.
received.
I got that out on my desk. I'll look through there first before I go call them.
Because I was surprised they
Yeah.
made a change,
I was too,
but,
but.
Yeah.
Don't forget about getting that for the fire station, that from Andy,
Oh,
what it's gonna cost, because we're gonna have to know that here.
oh, you already gave it to us last fall there.
All right, as long as that's.
It was just shy of 15. It was 14,000. He should have.
when you talk to him, just
No.
confirm it again.
What Andy's gonna do?
What Andy's gonna do. And I'm talking about what Andy's gonna do, tearing out the soft spot, and putting that back in.
It was 14,000.
Yeah, it's gonna be close to that. So you dig out a foot the whole way across there from the fuel tank, clear across over to the,
Oh, I don't think you need to do that.
yes, we do. It's a mess back there.
You're gonna have 30,000 in that parking lot.
To repave it.
We have to resurface the whole thing to get the money.
Trustees, I'm looking over last year's note, and you tentatively already had Andy in there at 14,784. You had the bid for the chip and seal from Art, 31,570. And then those two together is in the 42,000. Then you're getting 15,000 from the grant that Randy had got from Stark Waste Management. And then the balance of that was going to be shared with the general fund and the fire department, because the fire still does use some of that, but the whole project was in the, looks like it'll be $31,000
Once the
after you
grant
get the
covers.
money back.
Okay.
Just in that range. And that's what I budgeted, around
And that chip
30,000.
and seal could come in a little lower. I don't know.
But the
He's getting
15,000,
that, Randy, he is,
All right, well, I just want you to.
he's gonna redo that.
I think,
I mean, he's got it on the schedule,
He's supposed to have it.
just so we don't get to the point where, hey, all of a sudden.
No, he knows. I told him, I said, we were probably gonna do it. I said, go ahead and do the whole fire station, chip and seal. So he's gonna do that again. He's gonna redo another quote on it.
No, I meant Andy, yeah.
Oh, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy's quote's still good, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And Andy should probably be in there by June, because that way it has time to settle down a little bit in case we want to add a little bit on top before we chip and seal it. I wouldn't do it.
He's gonna be in there putting that, ground up asphalt. He's gonna put that in, and he's running his big roller over that,
Yeah.
acting it.
Mm,
So, and bring it back, it should be brought back up to the level of the old driveway there.
Right.
yeah.
So when they chip and seal, you'll probably never notice it.
Just confirm with him.
This is the first time we've done this since the building was built, correct?
We repaired it before.
We've repaired, but nothing
Never
like
this-
this,
yeah,
because these
yeah.
structures starting to just blow it
Yeah,
apart.
yeah, okay.
All these garbage trucks going in and out.
Yeah. I just want to make a mention. I appreciate Mr. Unkerfer and Mr. Brian Garrett getting out to Saga Circle on April 7th. We had a resident send an email to me and they were right on it. So checking a catch basin. So we were fast to the action. So thanks for doing that.
All right. That's, let me look here. We're gonna table- What's the road applications tabled for March 27th?
When you weren't here, we had some applications come in and,
Oh, for hire.
Yeah, for hire, for part-time. And the trustees wanted to wait till you were back to discuss it.
One of them approached me, just wants to know either way.
Yeah.
So are we doing that then, or? Or do we still need a person?
Grab that list. Let me see it.
What you,
So
what you-
Mr. Wheeler's in hired and working.
He's already hired, he was hired.
Wheeler was already.
He was already here.
He was
Good.
So what,
He
how
was
many
in-
hours is Wheeler working?
About 24 weeks.
Ray's
Okay.
not coming back after.
Yeah,
He's
he's
working-
supposedly retiring at the end of this
So
summer.
he's working 24 a week. If we were to hire another person, how many hours would they work?
Here, trustees, let me give you the math that I do based on budget. You got 2 full-time guys with the health care and
I don't know
everything.
what this.
I have the budgeted,
This is
it's all
fire.
budgeted out. That's in the $85,000 to $90,000 range.
This-
2 full-time with benefits and all.
Okay.
The part-time guys that we have now that mowed, like last
He's
summer,
a-
the summer before, that mowed, along
He
with
would-
the snow
he would-
plowing guys, I budgeted about 28 to 30,000.
He's retired.
We only use about 18 to 20,000 of that money.
Okay.
Also, I budget in there a cushion out of that for overtime for the
For
full-time
the
guys.
full-time
Yeah,
guys.
just
So
in
that-
case we get busy.
So you can
lots of
cover
stuff.
overtime hours. Got it.
So what I came up with a suggestion to Stu and talk to him just a little bit about it and leave it up to you all. I said, what happens if you had 2 part-time guys in here all year round? So instead of, you keep your regular snow plowing guys bumping in when you need snow plowing. But if you have a guy in here, if somebody gets sick, somebody's on vacation, or man goes down on your full-time, you already got a guy in here.
Mhm.
Plus, with knowing that one of those guys is gonna finish out the end of the summer, don't wait until he's gone before you scramble to get somebody.
Yeah,
If you
sure.
got somebody you
Sure.
think's good now, consider them before you lose them altogether.
All right, so that person, that part-time person, do they have to have their CDL? Where are we there?
Well, that's where Stu brought up a good point. It's nice when they all have CDLs, but that other person could be a great operator of equipment.
He was a good operator, he can operate any kind of equipment.
So what
He
you're,
just doesn't have his Class A.
so what you're saying is there's
We
enough,
need somebody for that 550.
there's a mini hoe you could drive, there's a tractor with a mower you could drive, there's a
Yep.
550 you could drive. So
Right.
what you're saying is if there's 3 guys in here that all have CDLs, the 4th part-time guy, it's okay to not have a CDL. You've got enough to do.
Right.
Okay.
So.
Because
what
we
are
need
you
somebody
having
like
him-
that to run the 550 in the wintertime anyways to
Are you
plow.
just having him plow with that? Because liability wise, if he's driving at 550 and pulling something?
No, he can't.
He can't.
Okay.
No, I know that.
It's got
I
to be
know
an
those
empty
rules.
truck, yeah. So.
That's a
so he-
combination.
So
It has
he's
to
gonna
Class
be,
A.
he's gonna be, this person's gonna be put right into the mowing schedule, correct? If we were to hire somebody.
Right,
They'd be put right into the mowing schedule and start working.
right.
And be trained for what Ray's doing, pretty much?
More or less, yes.
Okay.
But more, because
Yeah,
Ray
you
never
have-
helped plow.
So how many hours, Brian, for this?
Well,
person?
that's another thing. This other guy, if you bring in, would help Stu and Brian, whether it's dirt patching, they could still operate the other
Oh,
equipment.
sure. There's lots of
That
things.
they could help out in other areas, instead of just bringing a guy in here when the season's over and, okay, Ray retires, for example. Now you don't have nobody, you're scrambling, and you might lose a guy that.
Is this application, is this applicant okay with part-time, or is it full-time
Yeah.
only?
No, this is
No, you
part-time.
How
Part-time.
many hours are you saying?
Retired.
What I'm saying, you can average 40 hours between two guys. That's 20 hours a week. Now, if you fluctuate one guy at 24,
One
a
guy
guy at 18,
18, yeah.
it's something you gotta monitor because the budget will allow up to $28,000 and then two part-time guys,
Who's monitoring that? Mr. Unkelfer?
Is Mike Wheeler part-time or full-time?
part-time.
Part-time,
Just
24
for
hours.
summer?
The only full-time
Only
guys you
full-time
got
is
is
me and
Stu and Brian. Your part-time guys,
So I'll ask it again. Who monitors the hours?
he has to monitor, like, say,
Okay.
I'm gonna just
You're-
throw it out there, he has to
So you're
monitor.
saying if we have two part-time guys now, we're gonna back down to 20 each, 20 an hour?
Well,
Well,
No, you're
I
gonna have
want you-
3 part-time guys.
Yeah, you're on Ray here.
You're gonna have.
Well, I
three.
know, just for this
Just for
summer,
this
till the end of
summer.
the summer.
Yeah, just this summer.
That's all it's gonna be, just to the end of the summer.
Yeah.
Because Ray's quitting at the end of the summer.
How many
I
hours does Ray get?
understand that, but you're gonna have to cut them less than 20.
Yeah.
You'll have to go down to about 14 hours apiece.
How many does
Well-
Ray get right now?
Maybe rotate them.
Usually when we just had two,
Guys,
they
when-
work 24 hours a week.
guys, when you only have one extra part-time guy, like during training process, if you're looking, that's only $8,000 to $10,000. You're not gonna use up a whole 20 on that guy.
Yeah. Okay.
The way to look at it is the dollar, the whole gross on the payroll, because I have budgeted $28,500 roughly on the part-time people. And you're only using right now anywhere from 20 to 21. It'll put it just this year, because you're gonna bring a guy possibly in to train and work.
All right.
These guys don't have to work set, like last year, I know Ray and Dave were working sometimes 32 or 33 hours a week, but they might work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on what was going on.
Okay.
Then other weeks, they only work 28, or one of them might come in and say, I'm going on vacation for 2
Right.
weeks.
Over bad weather, you know.
Then you have, then you drop a guy for 2 weeks.
Where's the money coming from? What count?
It's coming out of 4 different road funds when those guys are in there. The 2031 road fund is the heavy fund that pays all labor, but it's also out of the 2021, which is the gas tax. There's a portion there. I share that with them too. So it depends on overtime, Randy, just to let you know, like say if these guys came off a good year where we didn't have a lot of overtime
Yeah,
and
we didn't have a lot of
snow
snow
and
pushing.
plowing
Yeah.
and salt. Salt, we would normally be buying $55,000 worth of salt. We're not gonna have to buy $55,000 worth of salt. You might have enough salt up in there, being if we don't use any more, to get us all the way into 2024 before you have to make a big purchase, if you have to make a purchase at all. You got enough up there, so that's a road fund. Always remember, you save money on that, so you got some there to use for these guys.
I do think that we have to, because Stewie can't monitor how much the dollar value is costing for the guy here.
Yeah,
We
that's
just needs to go by
He needs
hours.
to go by hours, that's right.
He has to go by hours because you can work one guy 32, but then you don't want him working 35 back to back to
But I
back.
think we have to give Stewie more clear definition. I don't think it's too,
Thank
it's too
you,
much
buddy.
for him to determine.
Thank you.
Right, I don't have a problem with that. We need to know what we can spend on hours, and then you break them down to that hours.
Yeah.
And what one guy might have to stay home. That's the way it is.
Well, if you have 3 part-time guys, they ain't gonna work 5 days a week.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Right.
I mean,
No, you're right.
Ray might be happy, or maybe a night, he might not want to come in. Maybe if you said, all right, we're gonna bring you 3 days, he might be happy with that.
He might be,
He might not, he might complain.
He might not.
he might not.
Might complain.
Well,
We don't know. But no, I think you're right, Trustee Griffith. We just
have to tell Stewie,
we've gotta
for
come
these
up with-
3 guys,
we have this
You
many
can
hours.
determine
Yeah.
who you want to work, but you have this many hours to play with.
Here's the cap for the part-time guys for the week. And you divvy it up.
I don't
How
think
are
you
you
should ever have all 3 of them here at once. Not right now.
No.
We got, not with what we got going on. It's not
Well,
gonna look good.
What I was hearing was that some
You're
of the
right.
summer road program, they were thinking about taking the one guy out with them when they were prepping roads, is kind of what I heard.
Right, but
So it wouldn't matter if the other 2 were doing their mowing.
Yeah.
If this guy isn't doing that, there's no reason for him to ride the mower.
right. Oh, yeah, you can't, I wouldn't double.
That's why
ride
I'm
them
concerned that
all
we're
either.
not just giving him a set
If
number.
we can
of
teach
hours.
even one of them, like Brian was saying, if we could teach one of them, even like when we're out Durapatching, to run the Durapatcher, because as long as we got a guy with Class A running the truck, the other guy's riding with him anyways, getting out, going back, running the machine. You don't have to have a CDL.
How many weeks vacation you guys do and how many weeks Brian have? Cause you got sick probably.
I think
4
I'm up
to
to
6
8 weeks.
Okay, no, but I'm
6
just
months.
saying,
Right,
if these guys take vacations, you're gonna drop
3.
them full-time guy. If you got sick situation that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And like, God forbid, when we have bad weather, we had a guy sick and Stu was one guy this time. And, a year ago it was the opposite way. It's always nice to have at least 2 guys, if not 3, available if you got good quality guys there. I'm not saying you have to work them all. If you're
Well,
asking
this
for
is only
hours,
gonna be till the
I
end
can
of the,
tell Stu, it's
yeah, but the end of the
basically,
summer's 4 months away, so
I
let's
know.
just talk about it. 3 part-time guys, a lot of times they work 24 hours each, the 2 regular.
Well,
So that'd
most of
be-
the time, our mowers guys would go out and work 24 hours, 8 hours for 3 days.
Yeah.
Good,
So
good
you're
weather.
talking 48 hours.
Sometimes it
there.
doesn't always get that
I know,
because of
just-
rain,
Just an
breakdowns,
average.
whatever.
So that's 48 hours there. So if we said, you look at your part-time people and we'll go back and look at it in a month to see what's going on, you shouldn't be running them all 3 over 60 hours. And that's gonna give you a little bit of leeway there, but they,
And then if
I
you hire,
wouldn't.
if you hire this guy, you can say, we're gonna get you to train you, but you're gonna get less hours now, because we still got another guy who hasn't retired yet. And see if he's willing to, if he's retired, he's willing to work with us a little
and
bit.
if you need him to go out on a day when you're doing the Uber or whatever, that's fine. You just gotta watch your total hours.
Right, well, I'm gonna have to let those other guys know that, they're not gonna get as
you don't
many
wanna
hours.
approach it that way with
Well,
those
how
other
do you
guys.
wanna approach it?
You approach it by, you're gonna go out 2 or 3 days. What's those guys work
Yeah.
a day, Stu? I see them 6, 7 hours each day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then nobody's in here Thursday and Friday.
That's right, they usually here
Yeah,
8 hours, 3 days, and
Yeah.
if it's good weather and boom,
Yeah.
they're
So
done for the week.
if
'cause
one
they-
of your
yeah,
new
all you
guys
need to
is
tell them is
training.
normally you're gonna probably work 3 days a week. You don't need to tell them anything else.
Yeah.
But you could have your 2 mowers come in and mow those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and say to your new guy, hey, if you don't mind, over the next few months, I need you Thursday and Friday. We're gonna start training you on stuff. And the other guys are gone. And then you give you more time to, because you're out there fixing mowers and keeping up. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but
Yeah,
I think you're right. I don't think
You don't wanna be giving
all
them
3
any
can
more
work 24
information.
hours.
No, and that guy, once he knows what he's doing on the mower, he can go out and mow one of those other 2 days.
That's right. That's right.
With the boom mower. That's what
right.
Brian's trying
That's
to.
what I'm trying to
What,
get to,
what's
guys.
what kind of wage are we talking?
oh, it's already preset in the thing.
Well, we
Those
pay our,
wages I'm basing off of the
Yes.
$15
Yeah.
range, where Ray was and Dave
Great.
Fallon was in those ranges, in that range.
Okay.
But I mean, you can start there.
Yeah, he should come in on a 90-day.
this other person knows how to run all of it.
Have you discussed any kind of wage with him?
No, I told him, I didn't want to say any actual certain wage, because I don't know what you guys are gonna start him at. That's not up to me. That's
Well,
up to you.
I don't know that he'll come for that, but we can ask, but.
I don't know what are you talking about? for
We've
starters?
already approved it at the beginning of the year, the wages. We
What?
have for the part-time help in there.
That's right. So
Yeah,
there-
it's already all approved.
It's already
I
there.
don't
If they-
remember
what the
exact
If a
rate
guy's
was.
offered that and he
What
says
is- you don't know
no,
What is it? I don't.
it's in the 15 something. I don't have it
I
right in
thought-
front of me.
Boy, I remember us doing wages per employee. I don't think there's a blanket like. the
No,
fire
we did
department.
it for part-time.
Part-time road.
Oh,
When they
oh.
when they started, it was always that blanket,
Got it.
and then they got that 2% each year after that. So each guy grew from that point.
Well,
And it made a difference whether they had a Class A and could do
Right.
all this other stuff.
Well, we
They
need to-
drive a big
we need to
truck.
look back and see what that number is, and if we decide we want to offer this job to him, see if we'll come for that.
Yeah, we just need to verify what that number is, and that's already been approved.
All right, are you guys gonna want him to come in the next meeting to see him and talk to him or whatever?
We
I thought
gotta
you
let
guys
him,
wanna
we
see-
gotta let him know. He's either gonna, cause he's not gonna hang
You
out.
evidently know him,
I talked to him. I
and you
see,
know him.
yeah.
So if you want to try him, it's like I said, it's a 90-day, put it on a
Didn't know you
90-day,
talked to him.
and if it doesn't work out, we'll let him go.
Yeah, I don't care. I said, he's not gonna be available in another 2 weeks. Cause he's just waiting to see, and he said, I've got some other options.
I know, he asked me this back weeks ago and
I told him that we were gonna discuss at this meeting.
I'm fine, you know him, you're saying he's a good guy, right?
Yeah.
You know him, and you're saying you want him on your road crew.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine for me. We already got the wage set, we just gotta figure out what it is, offer him the job, tell him after 90 days, we'll review and see if you like it and see if we like you and go from there. If it's working out good, then maybe we'll give him an increase and keep him. So I think that,
Are
We
you
don't
gonna
really-
call him and talk to him or what?
I can, or if you want, however you want to do it. You
I
want me
didn't
to
know you
call him?
already talked to him. He
I
had called
didn't,
you.
I didn't call him. He's seen me and can't approach me. I seen him somehow and
Okay.
he asked me if it was still in the works or if he needed to move along. And I said, that she wasn't here and we just tabled it till today. And we would discuss it today and we would let him know for definitely after this meeting.
so I think you should give him a call, Randy.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then, we'll have to look up that rate.
I'm
Are we
telling
making-
you, I'm looking it up right now.
Are we
I
making
forgot
a
I had my-
motion?
I had to wait. You're,
Well,
I
I don't,
don't think we need a motion till they talk to him.
let me talk to
You're
him,
at
make
you're
sure
at
he's
We're
fine
gonna, we're
pushing
gonna,
that
we're
number.
gonna offer an employment, and if he accepts, we'll motion next meeting.
Right.
$15 is your dollar.
That way.
$15?
He might say,
$15
I'm
is
not
your
having to work.
Yeah,
$15
$15.
for 90 days and then we'll review.
All right.
Yeah.
$15. Okay.
And you're thinking something around 20 hours.
That's what I would tell him. That's what you guys are agreeing on. I'm just going off what you're
Yeah, if all three guys,
telling me now.
if all three
Just on
guys get
average.
20,
It's an average. If he goes up 25 one week, he might be 18.
and one
next.
guy says, you 1 week, I'm on vacation all week.
Right, and that's
Next
the
guy
nice
gets
thing
more
about
hours.
that, because some of these guys do want to go on vacation.
Sure, sure.
I have guys that want
Yeah,
to
it's just-
vacay.
It's just an
They
average,
won't
it's
make
not,
They won't make
it's
it.
don't. We just don't want to get to the end of the year, end of the summer here, and now you've worked on 80 hours a week for however many weeks, because then we're
Yeah.
gonna be gone.
But hopefully this solves our problem every year when we're like, who's gonna drive the plow truck? You know, like, hopefully this solves having them here through the year.
Randy, get out of bed. Let's go plow.
Okay,
All right.
we're moving on. Zoning,
Well, one other thing we'll do before, we do have the road, boom mower out at a welder fabricator and he's working on fixing her all up and he's done this before and
Cool.
Buck Hill is going down a bad path. They don't even want to work on anything.
Gosh, found another guy.
That's kind of sad.
All right. Yeah, they've done a lot of work over there.
where'd you find the guy at?
He's done work for me and other people and I called him. I called Buck Hill and Buck Hill recommended.
I talked to him.
I thought Buck Hill closed.
I think they're probably getting pretty close. I called and their recommendation, his recommendation was for me to come down and get the material and weld it. I said, that's why I'm calling you. And then
Okay.
he wouldn't even give me, he said, I won't even give you a time frame of when
Yep.
he'd work on it.
When I was there, Tim told me he wouldn't even come down to look at it here.
Well, new guy gets to work then. Okay.
This guy is very reputable, does a very nice job. I think you'll be surprised at how
I hope so. That's good.
it should
Because,
run.
you know, we don't want to.
He's done it before. We're not the first road mower he's worked on.
Right.
So, all right, I just wanted to
Okay.
let you know.
Mary's not here, she's traveling. And Brian, she said she talked to you?
Yeah, she sent, and I think you all got the report.
Yeah.
All she really did is give me the report. I thought she was gonna be here, but then I told her, I said, well, you gonna get what the trustee.
She texted me. I mean, this is, everything on here is the same it's been before.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any answers yet. She did address trash again on the Indian Run property there.
Mhm.
And I came by it tonight and looks like they did graffiti painting on the side of the trailer. The camper there, I don't know.
I know that she talked to me about that zoning commission meeting on April 17th, just a reminder there, because I asked her if everything was still on.
Yeah, they're gonna finalize their, they're putting through a proposal for the allowing of mobile homes on, I think they're saying 2 acres. With the intent that can only be the landowner that has the mobile home has to live there, can't be a rental. You have to have the intent to develop the property, you're gonna put in your own well and your septic or whatever, sewer, whatever it is, the landowner has to be there doing it. So they're gonna try to finish that on the 17th and send it over to regional planning for preview. Was the plan that, the last I heard. So any other comments on that, or they just don't want rental properties, they want it to be residents. So, okay. So other than that, she doesn't have anything else on here. Oh, wait, there was a permit for a lot split.
I don't think there was one on the last one. Nothing. No permits issued.
Well, it was a lot split,
Okay.
$20 fee for a
That
lot
was the
split.
one before. She had that,
Or
art
she just
patch.
had it on there.
Yeah, she had it on the one before.
Okay,
Art patch, yeah.
okay. So, I'll mention this while it's laying here. You probably had it before from Jeff Brown. That's the NRAC committee that I'm on. So I will reach out to Joe Leslie, our environmental guy for the park there, because he talked about trying to apply for something, but I don't know that we're gonna make this application period, because we're still waiting on a survey.
Right.
And I think that in order to submit that application, we have to have those things completed.
Yeah.
So we may be a year behind with that grant then.
All right.
But I will check with him just to make sure. Old business, on-site audit is complete now.
Yeah, the auditor finished up this last week. Now it's time where we go into where she fires all the questions.
I did
Once
get
we
the
invest-
email from her
Yeah.
questioning me on different things, including fraud, and I did respond to her.
And she might be getting to all of you because she has all three of your emails. So she
I
said,
did not get one yet.
yeah, she has them all. So check your emails for me.
Yeah, it's kind of, you have to look to see
The
what it
process
is.
of the audit still would take another 2 or 3 weeks.
Man, I got the original from Stephanie, like the original, like, I'm doing an audit email, but I didn't get anything else other than that.
What she's doing now is she's going back with her manager, has some questions that we're working through them. Once we get done through them, then you all will get updates on that. It'll be on a report how I answered or what we did to give to her to answer. And then any recommendations, you're going to get a preliminary back from them.
Well, I'll wait till we get down to new business there. So we're done with the audit question.
I
This-
was going to slide one other thing in.
Okay,
The spectrum is complete here at this location. It was a $99 cost. The estimated new cost for the 2 phone lines is at $59.98 a month. We were paying $289 a month with AT&T.
Wow.
So just to let you know, the second part of that is Phil is definitely going to be setting the time. He just come back on vacation last week.
Okay.
He's going to be contacting Amy to make this move up at the fire station that you approved. He did mention he wanted to suggest he's getting prices to update their Wi-Fi there. Our Wi-Fi here to talk to everything is better than what the fire department
Yeah,
has.
they need better Wi-Fi.
And right now, even though they would go to Spectrum, they need to have that beefed up. He recommended that. I asked him to get prices. So along with that, he wants to do all that to get you all up to snuff at the
Yeah.
fire
Ben
station.
had put stuff up there to try and actually make it work, and
Yeah.
what he had has expired, so it's not even helping anymore.
Yeah,
okay.
so
But like an 8 doesn't have.
all those things are happening. Okay, now I'm going there.
You have on here secure emails for the township, 12 total yearly to GoDaddy.
Yeah,
For
that was,
909.
I just asked for a resolution for that. That's 190.15. That's our emergency lighting sign they replaced and we're here in
Okay.
service now.
All right, I'll motion that we approve Silico Security Emergency Lighting for $190.15 for the township garage.
Trustee Grootvayer.
All in favor?
Hi.
Thank you.
Then for the GoDaddy, the secure emails for the township, there's 12 of them. The price is $909.93. A motion approval for that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We've received an Energy Harbor check for electrical aggregation capital improvements of $60,000. Is that correct, Mr.
Yes,
Lally?
I'm gonna give you all trustees the letter that came with that.
And so, and that has not been earmarked for anything yet, correct?
No, what that is the part of their agreement.
Yeah.
Apologize, I don't have it right here.
Well,
I wanted to give you all a copy of it, but that's where it's earmarked for you to pick a capital project. that
So
you're gonna
I
use it.
want to
You don't
fix
have
the
to use
sign
it
up
all
for
in
it.
one thing, you can use it on combinations.
I think if they just, I don't think we need a new sign. I was looking at it, it needs straight, the posts are bent.
I want something that looks a little better. I don't want to look like a Hicktown.
It's fine, it just needs clean.
It needs something to be a better sign. Look at some of the other townships around.
The
Just think
posts
about
are
it.
definitely bent.
But it definitely needs fixed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Maybe stick a solar light on it or something. Something. Looks pretty bad.
Who's gonna be in charge of that pricing? Midwest Sign is who we use for our cemetery signs. They worked out good. They were in the $400 or $500 range for the cemetery signs. I don't know what they would charge for anything like that.
The other thing is, well, let's just all sit on it for a couple of weeks and think about it. What we might want to do. with
Well,
the
I
rest
said,
of it.
I looked at it after you had said that, and the posts are bent. The posts are shot. The post needs new posts. I don't think the sign's in such a bad shape. If you want
Brian.
to put a light on it or something, that may be something.
Brian, is this $60,000 something you had put into the budget?
No,
I
we
didn't.
didn't know what it was going to be.
That's
I
all for
actually,
the road.
Trustee Griffith, I didn't know what it was gonna be based on the contract.
Okay.
We were supposed to receive it in March, on March 31st was passed. And I just said something to Sue and it was kind of funny. Just yesterday, boom,
Yeah,
the thing popped in
Showed
there.
up, okay.
Those are each copy
So that,
for you.
this 60,000 is not
This-
in the budget this
Yeah,
year? All right.
this is not there. It needs certified into the budget.
Okay.
So I'll be putting it in
For
to have
capital improvements.
certification. And then
Alright.
you all can. start doing it.
Okay,
Okay,
good, that's great.
so
That's
we'll
good
think
news.
about it. All right,
Okay.
I do want to give a couple things, and that is, and I don't know if you received it or not, but I got an email from Mr. Boyle from AEP. And the email said that, remember back in October when we had Energy Harbor guy here, and they said they did the auctions for the
Mhm.
electric purchasing,
Mhm.
which I didn't know that's how that took place till then he said that, but that did take place. And AEP is announcing that the electrical that they purchased was 12 cents per kilowatt. And Dominion, First Energy paid 11 cents per kilowatt to purchase the electricity. If you are not in an aggregation in the month of June, your electric bill, and they're saying it right here, it will be significantly higher beginning in June if you do not belong to an aggregation. So we're paying what, 7?
0.799.
799.
You're gonna be paying a 0.11 or 0.12.
And trustees,
And so
I've been
it's-
getting hit hard with people transferring right now. I just
Did you get this email?
Yeah.
Okay,
I just.
Can you still transfer in?
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that deadline?
I've got
You
people.
can
There's no
transfer,
deadline.
you can transfer all through. I just transferred one, I got another one. that's
Yeah.
gonna go through.
I'm getting a half a dozen calls now in the last
Okay.
2 weeks.
Yeah, it was terrible, most awful
Yeah.
thing ever.
And I've been
most
using
of our
it.
residents have no clue, they just don't know.
They don't know, they don't know.
So.
Well, and the few
can we
residents-
Post that letter on our website?
I didn't post that.
The few residents that I spoke to were adamant against it, and I said, all right, well, let's just see how it lands. And I'm like, you may pay more. No, we're not gonna pay more. I went out of that. I don't know why you guys, why'd you sign me up for that? I'm like, well, in June, this is why.
Mr. Ellington?
No,
I've been pointing out, keeping track with
You
our
did tell
bill
me.
here and our bill
Oh,
at
he
the
told me
fire
it's the worst thing
station.
ever.
And I'm
Said,
pointing
"Well,
out,
see."
I'm pointing out that the service side of AEP's has went up a penny. It's at 8 cents. This was last year. A lot of people didn't even catch that. They were more worried about the supply side. I said, well, you gotta watch because AEP's side on the service side is creeping up. And then if you have the supply side, if you are on AEP, you could go up all kinds of stuff if you're not locked into something.
All right.
right.
So as you talk to people, please share that word in June, because we're gonna start getting calls
Oh,
here
yeah.
when everybody's electric goes up.
The phone's gonna ring.
And to get into the aggregation, it takes 2 months to get in. When you call and you register
Right.
with them. So right now, we're in April. I don't know if they'll make the June deadline for June, or if they'll get billed in June and make July.
I transferred one in February and it started April 1st. It
So,
just depends when you transfer the month.
You saw Energy Harbor
Yeah.
on your bill, Randy? Like you got the bill. and
I
said
got
Energy
a
Harbor.
whole packet and a letter and it
Yeah.
says you will start April 1st.
Okay,
Okay.
But I think it depends on when, like, if you call it at the end of the month, it's gonna be 2 months. But if you call it, like I made it right
Well,
time.
I know some of the residents are having problems when they're on the border of the township. They're kind of arguing with them that they are not in the township. Or I had one call me and she said, I'm trying to register with them. And they said they don't have Osnaburg Township as a navigation.
Energy Harbor?
Yeah.
Oh, they was very nice when I called.
It's just
Yeah.
whatever consultant you happen to get at the time.
yep.
And then the person said, I told him, I'm looking on your website right now and I can see Osnaburg listed. So I don't know if she just didn't realize, I don't know. But some people are struggling to get in.
Did you guys get an email from Aaron Jensen on a seismic permit?
No.
All right. I sent it to the office. I sent it to the office email, just so you have it, right?
What was it regarding?
I forwarded, I'll read it real quick. I got it, he called me today.
Is it just something recently?
Yeah, hello, Mr. Baird. I've been trying to get in touch with Osnaburg Township trustees regarding to a seismic permit with no response so far. Sent an email and called the
Oh, is
township.
this a guy that's doing the seismic?
Yeah.
Because I did respond to them and I sent the email back 2 weeks ago to the number that I had.
Okay,
I don't know if they're not communicating to him.
Aaron Jensen is what I got.
Yes.
I told him I'd bring it up at the meeting, and I told him I'd forward it to those that need it, so.
Yeah, let me just see. But you got another one today? you said?
Yeah, I sent it to the office at that email.
Yeah, and
forwarded
I
it.
get copies.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to bring up, and I forgot to bring up during fire, is we have a pancake breakfast April 30th from 8 to noon.
Yes.
Pancake breakfast. We'll have another meeting before that, but I just want to put it in everyone's minds.
Okay. So
Thank you.
with that, Randy, you said you have,
Yeah, we have to, you either have to all do records retentions or you can appoint a liaison. And Brian, you've done the record retentions for
Yeah,
the term. So I'm gonna make a motion that we appoint Brian as the liaison for the record retention.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
And I did, I'm trying, was it, public records training that you have to attend?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's not records retention.
Well, I make a,
it's,
you know what I'm talking?
it's actually both of them. You can do that. Usually you can pick someone out other than me, but I say, look, because I get the training, I don't mind being that, representing.
I was told that you could do it.
I can.
He
So
can
you want
represent
two,
that,
Miss? You want
but if
two?
you go back and look, when you register to run for a trustee, I think once every 4 years, you're supposed to do.
All you have to do is only one does it, you make them a liaison if you're good for the term.
For the
Okay,
term,
well,
yeah.
I do my own, so. You
And
can
it's
do it,
okay.
it's free, you can do it online through the state of Ohio, and you just do, it's an
So
online
so
thing.
you want another motion for,
Do you
the other
want to do?
that's the one I was talking about. I just got.
The one that I would say that we're, if I'm following you, is the ethics.
Yes, the
The ethics class.
Ethics is very important,
Records ethics.
yes. And the retention is important too.
All right. so
I
trustee
do both
moves
of them.
For the records ethics.
Why don't you do two of them?
That
You
is the
got 'em
second
both
one.
covered.
Again, I'm gonna encourage you to take it and do it
Yeah.
yourself.
I need a second.
Trustee Varian second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I got them.
All right.
What time is the pancake breakfast?
8 to
8 to
noon.
noon.
Anything else?
No, I have nothing.
All right, motion to adjourn.
So
Second.
moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I got a question for you.
You might have an answer.
Do we?
The reason why I encourage you, you can do it online, it's like an hour course online.
Yeah.
Because if you're ever questioned